Well, congratulations, Dominic Mayo, 6-time winner of the President's Cup. What we only had about 8, didn't it?
8, yeah.
Yeah. So
no, 9.
9. Okay, but take us through today. I mean, you knew the weather was going to change because it started overcast. Once the rain came, strategies have to change because you got to stay up.
Yeah.
But take us through the race.
So from the beginning, the race started neutral, and then on North Shore there were a few attacks, and my teammates, the young Jackson Langley and Steve Smith, were on the front controlling the pace, and they did a great job to keep it together. And then on Crow Hill, Tyler Smith attacked, and then Connor White attacked to bridge across, and I was on his wheel. And then from there, pretty much it was just the 3 of us, and those 2, they rode really hard going through St. David's to create the gap, and I was hoping that more of my teammates would be able to come up. So I was on the back for a while, and then once I realized that they wasn't coming, Tyler and Connor weren't going to just let me sit there, so they kept egging me on to take a pull. And eventually, once it calmed down and I knew I can stay with them, I started taking easier pulls, not playing into their hands, but sort of keeping them relaxed and not get agitated and start attacking me again. And then into Somerset, Connor kept attacking really hard, and we gapped Tyler a few times, and somehow I was shocked. Like the second time he came back, I was caught off guard. I was so surprised that he came back. Obviously he's a great athlete, and he's not a cyclist, he's a triathlete, but obviously cycling is a third of triathlon, so he's really strong. And coming to the finish, it was more of a cat and mouse game. Everybody was waiting for the sprint, and that's where I know I can compete against these guys. I don't train as much as they do anymore, and I'm probably not as fit as them. I'm definitely not as fit as them. But in the sprint, I always have a chance if my legs are feeling good. So at the end, we came around the last corner, and I just started my sprint just before Connor did, and I got the gap, and I was able to hold it to the finish, luckily.
Yeah, one of the things you're always concerned about is the wetness of the road, and maybe if you go too hard, you could actually spin. Was that a scenario that played out in your head?
Yeah, in June at National Championships, I crashed in the wet and ended up hitting a car. So that played on my mind a lot, and it's taken me a while to come back from that, because throughout my cycling career, I always prided myself on being able to corner better than most people, especially in bad conditions. I would always push the limit to try to get a gap, and then after that, I got pretty scared. And today, once the racing starts, my whole mentality changes. So once we were racing, I just knew I had to stay with them, and I just trust my skills and hang on and pray.
Now you say you're not training as much, but to come out and do it a 6th time, what does this one mean to you?
Yeah, this one I would say is, I think, the biggest surprise, because these guys are really strong, and I would say luckily, the cycling season normally goes from March till October, and triathlon same. So Connor and Tyler aren't at the peak fitness right now, and Tyler's had a pretty long off season. So I think that played to my hands. They're still fit, but they're not quite as race sharp as they would have been in, say, August.
Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Come back to defend it another year.
Hopefully.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, congratulations, Caitlin Conyers, President Cup, female champion. Conditions would have made the race a little different for you today. As we know, we started in overcast, and then the rain came. You were in a very large pack.
Yeah.
How much more concentration do you have to stay up in that pack? You're racing with a lot of guys, and tactics become a little different. So how did you change your focus mentally to make sure that you got through all the obstacles that were presented to you?
Yeah, no, I don't like the big group, especially when it's raining and it's slippery. You want to just have something that's solid, and everybody's working together. And we did do a little bit of that, the big group. I was very upset not to make the break going up Crawl Hill, because it would have been a much nicer, easier, safer ride, just sit on those 3 wheels. But I didn't make it, so it was, reassess. Erica was the only other adult female. So we were in the group together, and it was a headwind going all the way pretty much to White Hill. So my plan was to attack everybody on White Hill and then kind of break it up from them, because there were people attacking, but nothing was getting away. And I knew that, you got Cameron, Steve Smith, Shaky Wayne, everybody there's a solid group, so we all got established right after White Hill and pretty much scour.
Right.
And then, it was nice from that because we were just rotating, but I was struggling. All the hills, I was like, normally I'm good on the hills, and
Right.
I was just using every muscle in my body to stay on the wheel.
Right.
And yeah, I think, I'm not sure where they went, but I think what a lot I didn't make it up. So
Right,
then it was
right.
just ride to the finish.
Sure. But when you have these conditions and you have these challenges, how do you put it in your head that you have to now even concentrate just a little
Yeah.
bit more?
Yeah.
Because it don't become tactical anymore. It becomes that mental part.
Yeah, definitely. It's so mental, and for me, I'm just stay safe. Like it's President's Cup, it matters a lot, but you're really just stay on your bike, and I think everybody kind of feels that way. We all want to beat each other, but we also care about one another's, health and safety.
Right,
So
right.
it's just stay safe, watch those wheels, make sure when you get tired, you really, really got to stay focused, because you start losing it. But
Sure.
it was good. We made
When are
it.
you back out of here?
So I'm leaving the 3rd of January.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're racing.
Well, I'm going to Colombia for a training camp,
Okay.
and then I'm going over to Spain to
Okay.
race. So,
All right. Well, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
I appreciate it.
Season's greetings.
Yes,
Enjoy
you
it.
too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Okay.